Okay, so here's a quick video just going over MCPs, what they are, when to use them, when not to use them. So this looks like a lot, but it's super simple. So I'm using Claude as an example, but this can fit for any AI model or harness. So you have your AI talks to the MCP server, which then uses a tool like a database, an API, a browser, etc. So the whole point of the MCP server is almost like if you gave your AI a toolbox. So inside of the toolbox, it has all of these tools, and that could be a database, an API, a browser. So think like a hammer, a screwdriver, box of nails, and you're giving the AI this toolbox to decide when to use what tool for what. So the traditional approach with APIs are just lines of code. So if you type in send email, then it'll use this line of code to send an email, and that's it. And that's very straightforward. So the MCP approach is the same thing, but instead of it having a line of code for an API, it has send email as a defined tool. So you might have another defined tool that is send text message or add to calendar, or it can be as many tools as you need, and they're tied into whatever is tied into the MCP server going the other way. So if you're giving Claude this MCP server, whatever tools are inside it are going to be these tools. So if it's a send email tool, a send text message tool, whichever tools are inside of it. So how it actually works is the tools get defined, Claude sees the tools, it decides which tools that it's going to use, and then it gets the response from using those tools. So similar thing, you're not going to want to use an MCP for something simple like checking checking this website and logging any change every night. So that you can just use a simple automation for. Where you would use an MCP is check to see if this person's balance cleared, and if not, contact them through every means of contact that we have for them, and set up a follow-up sequence so that it continues to follow up until their balance is cleared, using every method of contact that we have for them, and set this up to go on continuously for the next 2 weeks. So that's an example of when you would use an MCP, because it's not very straightforward and you're looking for this result. So you want it to continue to follow up, you want it to reach out as many times, but it's not something as simple as if their balance is cleared, then you can just send out a simple text message, because that's a one-time thing. And then it's like, well, what if the balance changes? What if you don't want to send a text? What if you want to send an email? What if you want to send both? So the simple way to think about it is you're going to use an MCP when there's multiple steps or multiple concepts that the AI might need to choose from or evaluate, and the workflows are back and forth, because it needs to be able to check, but it also needs to be able to be notified if the balance cleared. So that's when you're going to use an MCP. And again, you're not going to use an MCP for just simple recurring tasks that need to happen, that are just check this, and if this happens, then do that. So that can just be written with one line of code. So that's MCPs in a nutshell.